So I came in today and decided I'd run a few more hats, see if I could repeat the process. Had no problem at all. I got to thinking, it would be rad to have something on the back of the cap, kind of like that MLB logo. So I called Mike in to help me do some design shop work and create my own back of cap logo straight from design shop. I'm going to show you how that's done, show you how to hoop it, do the whole thing. You can consider this maybe a second part to a video that was only supposed to be one part, but this will be part 2. It takes about 7 minutes for me to show you how Mike taught me how to do this in design shop. If you don't want to watch this, just skip ahead.
So I would suggest, John, that you start with lettering. So let's grab the lettering tool and select whatever font you want.
I like the basic block.
Okay, cool. And you can see the minimum and maximum. Grab that basic block, click on the main screen, and just start typing.
Easy.
Okay, and the next thing we want to do is we want to modify the properties of that lettering. So go ahead and click on the lettering.
Okay.
And the first thing that we want to do before we forget is let's take and change the horizontal stitch order to center out. Go ahead.
Yep. Going on a hat.
Going on a hat, we want to sew center out so we don't get any kind of ripples trapped in between our stitches. And then, trim between letters would be good.
That's a new feature in?
New feature in Design Shop 11. So next thing we want to do is take a look at the underlay.
Okay.
And with the underlay, I like to turn off the enable auto underlay and do my own. The first one, edge walk.
Edge walk.
Yep, edge walk, and I like percentage. These aren't hard numbers. These are just the ones that I've found good. Width at 70%. And the stitch length, I do 18 points.
Okay.
Reason that I do that edge walk is I don't want any gaps between the stitches. I want the stitches to look full. And so that edge walk will fill in any gaps between each.
Okay.
So the secondary underlay, we're gonna go with a zigzag.
Zigzag.
And we just want to give the lettering some loft. I would do percentage, and I would change that 60 and 18 is what I like.
60 and 18, got it.
And once again, your numbers might be different, or there might be different videos on this, but this is what I like.
General, okay.
Yep. The last thing we want to do is go to compensation.
Okay.
And we're going to add 2 points of pull offset, because when we shrink that SPB down to the size you want it, we don't want the text getting so thin that it looks unprofessional. We want a nice bold text. So we're going to add 2 points, and as soon as you hit apply, you'll see it bold up on it.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Yep.
Sweet.
Cool. So now the next thing I would do is I would select it and I would change its width to that 1 inch that you were mentioning.
Yeah, 1 inch.
You know, we might change it a little bit here in a minute, but we'll just go with that for now.
Okay.
And then, so the next thing, let's go ahead and create our rectangle fill. So we're going to select the fill tool.
Yep.
And we're going to grab the rectangle over on the left side. Right. There you go. Okay. And now we're going to drag our fill, and it will cover the lettering, but we'll fix that here in a second.
Okay.
Cool. So over on the right, you're going to take and bring the fill up above it, just like you would in Illustrator.
Just like Illustrator.
And then change the color to whatever you want it to be.
Orange.
And then you can change the size of it, as needed.
Okay, nice.
And then once you've got that, we're gonna use a little cheater. So instead of having to digitize a column border around that fill, we're gonna take and push the Shift key on the keyboard, and we're gonna hit single line center tool, one up, and that one right there. Okay. And that will add that border
like
automatically. And all we got to do is change its color to whatever we want.
Nice. Change this to be the color we want.
So let's take a look at the complex fill underlay, and let's go to underlay.
Underlay.
Yeah, and so the underlays, the enable auto underlays for fill on what we're doing, I feel are good. I wouldn't change those. So I would go look at the underlays for the border stitch.
Single line center.
Yep, underlay, and this I would change to the same values that we did for the text.
Let's see if I remember. So we're gonna turn that off. We want edge walk, percentage, 70 and 18.
Yep.
And for our secondary underlay, we want zigzag, percentage 70, 60 and 18.
60 and 18, good job.
Nailed it.
So last thing I would do is I would select the whole design
Yep.
and change your width to be that 1 inch.
That 1 inch, yeah.
Yep. Now this is going to be going on a hat, the back of a hat, so we need to flip it upside down.
Right.
I like to do that in Design Shop using that tool down at the bottom to rotate clockwise. Yep. I would take and drop it down because the red origin lines equals the laser on the machine, and we know we want to be in 1/2 inch from the opening of the back of the hat. We want to be 1/2 inch, so we'll show you that to you when we start sewing, but we want to bring that down 1/2 inch from that design origin. And John is using really cool feature is it's got that graph or the tape measure on the side. Awesome.
Perfect. I think that looks pretty centered and good.
You want that fill so that we don't get an overlap. We want to move the center and the entry and the exit. That's what that green circle is, the entry.
Okay.
X is the exit.
And it's fine just sitting there like that?
Correct. They won't sew out. They disappear as soon as you do it. So that is going to give you a better rectangle instead of pushing all the way across from corner to corner.
SPB.
Let's do a file save as.
Right.
So that
Hat back. Save.
Cool.
Yeah.
I would send it over to the machine.
Load design.
Load design. Yep. Let's start with the hoop. To add a hoop, John, what we're going to do is go up to Tools. We're going to hit Hoop Setup, and then we're going to do Customize Hoop List over on the right. And we're going to go through there, and we're going to find the large back of cap clamp.
Red hoop.
There you go.
Back clamp.
Yep. Go ahead and hit OK.
Okay.
And then over in the hoop list, go ahead and drop that down and select. Yeah, and make sure that it's the red one and not the graphite because your driver is red. Okay. I think 800 is probably a good speed for what we're doing. It's pretty small and it's going to go fast anyways. Color sequence, go ahead and set that.
Orange first and then black and black.
So what's cool is to see that Actifeed presets. You can go in there and look for something that's similar to what you're sewing on. And so the back of a cap, I would say, is close to that knit material, like a 5. And so if you're not sure what to do, you can always go in and do that, or you can add your own in here too. Okay, there you go. And so we have everything set over here. Now we want to go over to the machine.
All right, and the cool thing about doing the backs of these caps is that we don't have to make any big changes here. We just add our cap frame, our clamp to it. Well, that looks good, doesn't it? All right, so we're using this from Hooptech. This thing just clips on. Well, that thing just clips right on from Hooptech. You can get it on shopmelco.com, link down below. There's some little clamps back here that hold down your backing. There it is. A little clamp holds down your backing, one on each side. Now to hoop these, there's a little trick. We want to open up our hats and we want to start on one side and work our way over to the other. And the way I have this set is I want it to be about 1/2 inch off of my point, and then we push this little guy down in the back to lock it. Here, I'll show you close up. And here's my little clamp right here to lock it down. One nice tug, make sure everything's snug. Let's get our laser going. I almost forgot to mention this, but be sure you set your presser foot all the way down and then up 1. It's a bullseye. Let's let it roll. You know, when I start a new embroidery idea, like this back of hat, I thought, how easy is it really to embroider on the back of a hat? Well, they make a tool for it, and it's super easy. I'm having a lot of fun with this. I wonder what other ideas I'm gonna think are really hard, but actually really easy to do. Well, that thing sewed out perfectly, just like I anticipated. These are really fast. It's centered, perfect location. Couldn't be any easier. Thanks again for watching. Stay tuned. Who knows what we're gonna do next, but this has been a lot of fun. See you around.